Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, yo, so what's up? Just got home from work. It's Friday. Got me some brewskis. So I'm about to, crack a few beers open, read a little, and record a little. Make it a little vlog going here. I just checked. I got some stuff on my Amazon hub here. So let's go pick everything up. Woo! We up at 117 degrees right now up in this place. Pretty hot. Just threw on the AC right now. I got a lot of freaking packages. I didn't want to be recording it as I'm getting everything. So this is what I got right here. I opened a few of them. Still have a few boxes I haven't opened. Still have to unwrap those. These I got from InStock. No, that one from eBay, and those two from InStock, and that I got from the Facebook group. This one, they really gave me a really good deal on that. I think it was like $30. So it's a smaller Omni, but I like the size of that. That's like perfect. It's like 700-800 pages, and I got some other books there. Decided to throw on some YouTube for a minute, watch a few videos as I get into the group. So it looks like Omar from Near Mint Condition, he's going live right now. I came home early from work today too, so that was cool that it happened to be on a Friday. I don't know, I might watch that. I usually watch them after so I could watch them from the beginning when it's a live stream. Let's see what else we got. I might throw something on the background and start recording more of this video. I don't know how long it's gonna run because that's a lot of books. I might break it. Remember guys, if you want more comic related content or you wanna just talk comic books, go ahead and hit the link in the description down below to the Omnibuds Cafe group on Facebook, and also join their Instagram page, which I'll leave the link in on the description down below as well, where you can post pictures of comic books and you can follow them as they post as well. Crack my beer open. Some Coors Banquet. Now I've been hearing that the Conan run on Titan Publishing, I've been hearing that shit is fire, so I decided, you know what? The first 2 trades are out. It's 4 issues a trade, so that would be the first 8 issues. Let's go ahead and read that. Single issues, they're on issue 11 or 12, so in the next 2 months or so, probably the volume 3 will come out. So let's get these 8 issues out the way and let's see what we think about them. Okay, it says here, volume 1 by Jim Sub, artist Delatorre, bound in black stone. Here we go. I'm reading this on my Galaxy tablet. This is about a 8x6 or something like that. I think that's what the measurements. So it's not the full size of a comic book, which would be 10 inches by 7. But I do a lot of guide view anyways, so I don't mind it. Says here, the Nemedian Chronicles. So it looks like we're gonna be covering either the Nemedian area or we're gonna be taking a journey through there in this storyline. Okay, this is the first page. Right away, I see here it says the grim Jim Sub writer and the ravaging Rob Delatorre on art and villainous Jose Villarrubia on colors and art. So they're having fun with it because they're giving nicknames like the grim and the ravaging. Marvel used to do that back in the 80s and the 90s. That's when they were really into their craft, right? When they were having fun with it, they were enjoying what they're doing. So it gives me a reason to be positive about this run right now. This is chapter 1. That's the cover. So here Dark Horse, this is actually Titan, but Dark Horse does this where it shows covers and it doesn't show the font or anything, or what issue it is, but this tells you it's chapter 1 before it shows the cover. So yeah, here we go. Ooh, The Scourge of the Dead, bound in black stone. It's a nice, interesting name to the title. Now look at the art right here. This looks like 80s Marvel Conan. I really like what De La Torre did with the art here. He's trying to mimic the style of the 80s Conan when it was in its prime, you know, when the movies were coming out. Ooh, this is nice, this is nice. Nice simplistic panel layouts. They work really good for when you're reading digitally on a tablet. Look, bam, that way you get each panel from panel to panel. You really get to sink in the art, right? Because it shows it real big. Look at that. Man, just laid this guy out. I mean, why are you fucking with Conan? You're not gonna win. This guy's like 280 pounds of muscle, right? So look at this. These panels, when they're long like this, it's perfect for the tablet. And even like this panel is great. The sideways ones, you would have to tilt it sideways if you want to zoom in, or else it's going to pretty much stay the same size. But this works real good with guide view and so forth. And then it blanks out the other panels, so they come as a surprise when it switches to the next one. So I really do enjoy reading digital comics, depending on the era. 90s has a lot of splash pages, has a lot of two-page spreads. So the impact is different. Like I feel those, I like omnibuses, I like trade paperbacks. You don't get the same feel when I read it digitally because they're not square panels, so it doesn't have the same impact. Look at this. Man, I love this art. He did a good job kind of impersonating Big John Buscema's art on Conan. I know everybody likes Barry Wintersmith. I think Buscema was far superior artist on Conan. But people like Barry Wintersmith because that's where he started, and you got to see him grow as an artist. You got to see him improve from the first 2-3 issues to by the time he got to issue 20. He was improving, getting better, but he was nowhere near the artist Buscema was. Story goes, the only reason that they got Barry Wintersmith is because they couldn't afford Buscema at the time. He was asking for too much money, right? So what does that tell you? One guy was clearly a bigger name than the other one was just starting, and his talent shows that he did like a thinner Conan, and he kind of switched them as he went on. So here you see this girl on a horse. She's they're called the pig people. They're kind of like natives. She's coming to war to warn the barbarians about something going down. So there's this new army coming, but it's an army of, it's like dead people, but they're coming back to life. Kind of think of Game of Thrones, the walkers, the day walkers. Same premise, same thing. So all the humans that are still breathing, like, we gotta all get together, no matter what kingdoms we're from, what different races. We gotta unite to fight the dead. It's basically a war with the living versus the dead. And here are these zombies and skeletons right here. Yeah, I like I said, I really like what they're doing here. As you're reading, you could tell Jim Sub is clearly a Conan fan. He has read Conan. He knows how to write the character. The artist clearly is trying to mimic the old school Conan back at his peak of his popularity. And so is the writing. It feels like a more modern take on the old school original Conan. With the first trade paperback, meaning the first 4 issues, really like the way it was written. I felt it showed a lot of respect to Conan fans and Conan the character. They didn't try to change anything. They didn't try to do anything fancy. Even the artists just mimicked the old school style. So they played it very safe in that way. They didn't do anything different. They just kept Conan as Conan. When you try something different, it's like a home run hitter, right? You swing for the fences. Sometimes you strike out, but when you get it right, man, that crowd goes wild, right? Because you hit it out of the ballpark. So this kind of just went for a double, right? Played it safe, got to first base or second base or whatever. Did a solid job. The storyline was good. It's stuff like if you've read enough Conan, you've seen similar stories. So the big thing was we got Tulsa Doom. For those of you not familiar with Tulsa Doom, he's basically Skeletor. He-Man tried to copy Conan, then through rights issues and whatnot, they had to change him a little, so they made him blonde so he won't be carbon copy, right? And Tulsa Doom is like a Skeletor with sorcerer type of character. And then they try to make He-Man's villain Tulsa Doom a skeleton, right? Although in today's day and age, I'm pretty sure Skeletor's far more popular than Tulsa Doom. So he's the big bad. He's Conan's main nemesis. And he's who's bringing all these dead people back to life. So, when I saw him, I was like, oh shit, like we got Tulsa up in here. So it started off very strong by bringing in his top gun, right? His top villain to make the story more interesting. So Conan, he cannot be killed. Conan tackles him into the ocean. So it's a cool thing they did here, because when he tackles him to the ocean, they're both kind of drowning. But Conan's dying himself. Why he does this, he's kind of seeing his life flash before his eyes, and he sees this guy, this old warrior, a pig warrior, and while he's passed out, right? He's telling him, wake up, Conan, you gotta get up, you gotta get back out of the water. And he's telling him, you need to find this special sword. That's the only thing you could kill Tulsa with in these Walking Dead, right? So it ended real cool. It was real cool how the way it ended. Solid story. I'll give it about an 8. You know, it was good, really good, but it was stuff. If you haven't read any Conan, you'll think it's good. In short terms, we're not treading new water. Now, before we start volume 2, if you're still here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you ain't already subscribed, and go ahead and hit that like button if you like what you're seeing so far. Volume is called Trice Marked for Death. So the writer still Jim Sub, but we got a new artist here. It's Braithwaite. I know I'm butchering that name. I have no idea how you pronounce it, but I do know the name. I've seen it. He did art on Exo War, which was pretty good. And there's flashbacks on Exo Man where he's kind of a barbarian back in the olden times, which is I'm pretty sure that's why they got him for Conan, because he did a good job on that book when it has a similar feel, right? So there's the cover to volume 2. Nice cover. I think that's a different artist though on the cover. But yeah, it looks real good. Volume 1 was called In Black Stone, because when they killed all the Walking Dead, those souls, they went into this black stone. So that stone is kind of what captures souls, but it's also what brings people back to life. Basically what controls them or possesses them, right? So that story ended there where they put everything back in that stone. Now I got something to say here. In the beginning of this book, I did not like the art. I was like, it's too clean. It's too polished. I don't like Conan looking like this. But as I got a few pages in, I started getting used to it, and the coloring made it look a little more gritty while still giving it like it gave it light. Like it's more bright, and the other one was a little more darker, the first volume. But it still looks dark in its own way, right? And it still looks gritty. It's hard to explain, because when you look at it, it's gonna look clean and polished, but it still has a gritty feel to it as you're reading it. Here's that nice, clean, polished art I'm talking about. I mean, look at Conan here. I was like, it looks too pretty for my liking. I like him looking a little more caveman-ish. Look at that. But I see the facial expressions here. They look good. The art itself is good. I just wasn't sure if it was gonna fit Conan. But when I got to a few pages, I was like, you know what? This is good. It's working for me. Go to another page here. Now here he's rolling with Belit, or yeah, I believe that's the way you say her name. So she's kind of like this pirate that met Conan, and she's a great warrior, can take care of herself. We all know Conan's a ladies' man, because when people are in danger and so forth, he saves them. He's a hero. So these women, they feel safe around them. So they grow an attraction to him because they feel safe, right? Like they're not in danger, even though they're in a dangerous situation in a dangerous world. So some of them they fall in love with him to an extent, and he has a few sidekicks like that. She's being one of them. She's a recurring character. Trice Marked for Death, the heist. This motherfucker is wasted. Look at him. Damn, he's drunk off his ass right here. That's a typical trope in Conan. Look at him. He's sauced. And here she's talking to him like, oh man, that's not good. Look at the way they just chopped this guy right here. Oh. There's a lot of gore in Conan, and there's a lot of like sexual scenes as well. So if this was a movie, it'd be rated R. You know, just mature readers for sure. So on this one, they're gonna go do a robbery. They're all getting paid. They're kind of like pirates here. When you're rolling with Belit, that's what she does. She's a pirate. So they're getting paid to go steal something. Look at Conan's face here. You don't trust this guy for shit. But he's gonna work with him because he wants money, right? So he's like, contract's a contract. Let's make this happen. This guy does have a reputation. If he sends you to do something, he will pay. You know, he's not shady in that way, but he's shady in other ways. Man, this was good right here. This was good. Now check this out. This guy that's working with Conan as well, he's a lock picker. He's opening the thing. They got to where they need to be. Here's you see him open this thing, and here's Conan's face. Look at their face. They're like excited they found the jewel they were looking for. But look at Conan's face. That's almost like the look of fear, right? You don't see Conan do that often. Artist did a great job right here. And now when we open it, it's the black stone from the first art. That was Conan saw this stone bring the dead to life. So he respects this stone. He knows do not touch it. He I wouldn't say he fears it, but he's cautious of it. You see the look in his face right there. Like he doesn't want anything to do with this. And this guy, this thief, touches it, and there goes the souls flying around that he released by touching the stone. Alright, so further on in the book, the stone tries to possess Conan. That's who they really want, because they know he's a real strong barbarian. So the souls and whatnot, they're like, if we get this guy, like, we're in the game. Like we don't even need 100 zombies. He's strong enough by himself, right? So he's possessed, and we get to see Conan kind of play the villain for a while. In a little twist, make him the bad guy and see if anybody can stop him. It's gonna be hard to stop him because he is Conan. So this is kind of an excuse to have him fight the good guys. Take this page out. Just tore this guy's torso, tore his head off. Is over here flying towards the screen. See Conan here looking menacing. Yeah, this artist, he was really good. He really worked on. He fit Conan real good, and I was skeptical at first. The first few pages, I was like, oh man. But then, by the time I got to the end of this story arc, I was like, oh yeah, it totally works. Totally. Alright guys, all I could really say is this is a well-written Conan. And there's Jim Sub. He does a lot of fantasy type stuff, like Dungeons and Dragons type of books. So I knew he would fit Conan. I had faith in him as a writer. And yeah, he delivered. Everything was up to par. He's like a totally underrated writer. Like I think he's a solid writer, especially when it comes to these type of stories. So yeah, I'm happy with this one. I don't want to talk too much more about the story. I just gave you the main plot points. There's a stone, there's zombies and whatnot. Like the synopsis, right, that you would read on the back of the book. I recommend it. Definitely pick it up. I have not read the Marvel stuff that came out like 2-3 years ago when Marvel had the license. So I was excited when they got the license just because I knew they were going to reprint the omnibuses. I was like, yeah, they got that money to reprint big omnibuses. But was I excited for them writing a new series? I was whatever. I had no opinion on it. But it was very divisive. Some people enjoyed it. Some people did not. I never got around to reading it. I might later down the road. Maybe I'll read them digitally someday. But I wasn't like not in a hurry. But this one, I had kept hearing so much good things about the Titan run. They're like, you gotta read the modern stuff with Titan, and I was like, all right, let me go ahead and read it, because I've read the Dark Horse stuff. I really enjoyed it, and I've read some of the old Marvel stuff. I own it all right now in omnibuses. I just haven't got around to reading it, but I definitely read more of the Dark Horse stuff, and I really enjoyed it. And this was right there with that. It was really good, and it definitely reminded me a lot of the old Marvel stuff that I have read. So yeah, so far so good. I'm definitely gonna continue reading, and if you like Conan, you like sword and sorcery, I do recommend this. It's a good read.